Most web apps are pretty simple under the hood. A few forms, a table, and some buttons that hit a database. To render all of that, the standard stack boots up a whole React runtime and a JavaScript bundler first. Then hundreds of npm packages, a build step, and a hydration pass, just to show you a list of rows. One real company looked at that whole pile and did the thing most teams only joke about. They deleted React. Their codebase shrank by 67%. And somehow, the app came out faster than before. What replaced it was a 14 kilobyte library called HTMX, running on a plain Go server, no bundler, no node_modules folder, one compiled binary, sending finished HTML straight down the wire. So here is the claim I actually want to put to the test with you today. For roughly 90% of the apps we build, Next.js is overkill. Not wrong, overkill. Like renting a construction crane to hang a single picture frame. Let me show you why, with real numbers from a company that actually made the jump. Start with what these apps really are. You log in, you see a list, you click a button, a row changes in the database, and the page shows the new state. That loop is the whole product. To be clear, React earned its place. It was built for genuinely hard interfaces, and for those it is excellent. The problem is that somewhere along the way it became the default for everything, including a settings page with 4 fields and a save button. So what is HTMX actually? It is a single JavaScript file, about 14 kilobytes zipped, with 0 dependencies. It has been stable at version 2 since 2024, and it sits near 48,000 stars on GitHub. This is not a shiny new framework. It is boring, finished technology in the best possible way. And the idea behind it is old, finally done right. HTMX grew out of a library called intercooler-js from over a decade ago, written by a developer named Carson Gross. The whole philosophy is to extend plain HTML with the powers it was always missing, instead of replacing it with JavaScript. Here is how simple it is in practice. You take normal HTML, and you add a couple of attributes that let any element make an HTTP request on its own. A button, a form, a link, a plain div, any of them. You write htax get on a button, or hx post on a form, and point it at a URL on your server. When the user clicks, HTMX fires that request in the background, and the browser never does a jarring full-page reload. Here is a whole feature in one line. On a like button, you write hx post pointing at /like and hx target pointing at the count. The user clicks, your Go server returns the new count as HTML, and HTMX drops it into place. No fetch call, no state hook, no re-render. Now here is the part that reshapes your entire stack. The server does not answer with a blob of JSON data. It answers with a small piece of already rendered HTML, the finished fragment of the page. HTMX takes that fragment and swaps it into the page, exactly where you told it to land. No client-side rendering, no rehydration, no second copy of your application state living in the browser, drifting out of sync with the server. And it is not limited to swapping one box. A single response can update several parts of the page at once. The cart total, the item list, and a little notification, all from one request. That covers a surprising amount of what we usually reach for React to handle. Put the 2 round trips side by side, because this really is the whole argument. The React way. The browser asks for JSON, the server sends raw data, and then the browser does a second job, turning that data into HTML a person can actually see. You built the screen twice, in 2 different languages. The HTMX way simply deletes that second job. The server sends HTML that is already finished, and the browser displays it. You render the screen once on the server in whatever language you already write, and the browser goes back to being a browser. You also get back a few things the heavy stack took away. That server-rendered HTML works even before any JavaScript loads, which is kinder to slow phones, weak connections, and the search engines that want to read your page. And that single change removes a whole category of work. No JSON API to design and version, no client-side store to keep in sync, no megabytes of JavaScript to bundle, ship, and debug at 2 in the morning. Now HTMX needs a server that can produce HTML quickly, and this is exactly where Go fits like a glove. You compile a Go program down to one static binary. No runtime to install on the server, no interpreter, no folder of dependencies. You copy a single file onto the machine and run it. And Go already ships everything this stack needs in its standard library. The net/HTTP package is a real, production-grade web server. The HTML/template package renders your pages and automatically escapes them against injection attacks. You can build the whole thing without pulling in a single framework, and picture what a deploy becomes. With the heavy stack, you install Node, restore a lock file of hundreds of packages, run a build, and hope the versions line up. With this one, you build a single binary and copy it over. It behaves the same on every machine because it carries nothing external with it. Then there is the part Go is famous for, Goroutines. A single Go server can hold tens of thousands of concurrent connections on ordinary hardware because each one costs a few kilobytes of memory instead of a full operating system thread. It stays quick under load without much thought from you, and that efficiency shows up on the bill. A compiled Go binary idles at a few megabytes of memory, so a small, cheap server that would struggle under a heavy node stack can comfortably run the Go version. Fewer machines, smaller instances, a lighter hosting line every month. So the entire architecture fits into one sentence. Go renders the HTML, HTMX swaps it into the page. That is the whole thing. Two moving parts, and you can hold both of them in your head at the same time. None of this matters if it only works on a weekend to-do demo. So here are the receipts from a real production business. A French SaaS company called Contexte took their entire React front end and ported it to HTMX, and their engineers stood up at a conference and read out every number afterward. Start with the headline they did not see coming. Their front end went from about 21,500 lines of code down to 7,200. That is a 67% cut. 2/3 of the front end code simply gone. The dependency count is the part that made me grin. They went from 255 JavaScript dependencies down to 9. That is an entire NPM supply chain you no longer have to audit, patch, or worry about breaking on some random Tuesday morning. And the speed showed up where you feel it every day. Their web build dropped from 40 seconds down to 5. And the first page load time, the number your users judge you on without ever saying a word, fell from 2 to 6 seconds down to 1 to 2. Even the browser itself got lighter. Memory use per page fell from around 75 megabytes to 45 because there was no longer a heavy client framework sitting in every open tab holding its own full copy of the app. But I promised receipts, not a sales pitch, so here's the bill. Their Python backend grew from about 500 lines to 1,200 because the rendering work moved back onto the server. The complexity did not vanish into thin air. It moved to a place their team found far easier to reason about. Now the objection I can already hear you forming. What about rich interactivity? Fair question, but HTMX covers far more of it than people assume. Inline editing, live search that filters as you type, infinite scroll, instant form validation, none of which needs you to handwrite a custom API. Where it genuinely runs out of road is the other 10%. A design canvas like Figma, a document editor like Google Docs, a spreadsheet, an interactive map, a game, anything where the browser is a live application instead of a stack of pages. Round-tripping to the server on every keystroke is too slow, so that work truly wants React, and it earns every kilobyte. So the honest framing was never HTMX versus React. It is this. Match the tool to the shape of the app, a dashboard, a store, an internal tool sitting over a database. Send HTML from a Go binary. A real-time collaborative canvas. Reach for the heavy framework on purpose because you genuinely need it, and this is not a fragile experiment you will be forced to rewrite next year. HTMX has been stable for years. Version 4 is already in the works, and being dependency-free with nothing to upgrade every 6 weeks is the actual selling point, not a weakness. So here is the straight answer the title owes you. For most of what we build, the forms, the tables, the buttons over a database, HTML over the wire, served by a Go binary, really is all you need. 14 kilobytes, one language, one small process to deploy. The heavy stack is a genuine tool for a genuine problem. It is simply needed far less often than the defaults assume. So before you install 200 packages to render a table, stop and ask one honest question. Is this app really a document, or is it a live canvas? Answer that plainly, and most of the time the boring stack wins, with less code, fewer bugs, and a smaller hosting bill. This is Cloud Codes, and I will keep bringing you the receipts.